The iPhone 13 mini is one of the best cell phones ever made. It's powerful, well priced, and it doesn't make my hands hurt when I hold it. However, despite all that awesomeness, statistically speaking, you won't or didn't buy it. So what makes this such a hidden gem, and what are my thoughts on it after it was released 3 months ago? Let's find out. I trust Apple cases. What's up, everyone? I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. This iPhone 13 mini that I just slammed on the table and hopefully didn't break is my favorite cell phone of all time. I say this a lot, but I love smaller phones, and it breaks my heart that this segment didn't take off, and we'll be stuck with large regular size phones and gigantic Pro phones from now on. I get that I'm part of the problem by using a Pro Max iPhone, but darn it, at least I bought the 13 mini. I tried my best here, team. But despite owning 2 mini phones, sales numbers don't lie. And from the rumors we've seen, it looks like this little phone is going to get beefed up in the next release to become the iPhone 14 Max. You were just too good for us, Mini. However, all is not lost, and the 13 mini is still available for sale today. So let's go over what I've liked and what I've disliked about it. First off, in the things that I've liked, one of the most important for me is price. While I would never call $699 cheap by any stretch of the imagination, for a current cutting-edge phone, it's the best price option you are going to get from Apple. Okay, slight detour. From a macro level, something that I don't like is how slowly the prices of phones have been creeping up. I remember not that long ago when I saw a $600 phone and my mind was shattered that a top-of-the-line cell phone could cost so much. And that was back when cell carriers would cover the cost of the phone when you signed into a new contract. Yes, kids. You used to not actually pay for the phones, you paid for the contract. Then bam, seemingly overnight, monthly payment plans were just the standard, and now we can balloon up the price as far as we want to go. Don't get me wrong, I love the tech and the features we've been getting in phones, and that tech has to get paid for somewhere, but the top-end phones now cost more than my first car. And just straight up, do not buy more phone than you need by putting it on loan. You might end up actually paying the price of a car today once it's totally paid off. Okay, that was today's dad's soapbox session, so I'll get down from that soapbox and we'll get back to the 13 mini. In today's reality, this price is actually really good, mainly because it's not really hampered or constrained in any real way. It has the same main camera from the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and yes, we'll talk more about the cameras here in a little bit, but processor-wise, camera-wise, and functionality-wise, this does the same thing as the twice as expensive 13 Pro Max. I really like that. The next thing I've continued to like, obviously, is the size. Man, I hate big phones, and yes, I can hear you typing in the comments right now. But Gary, you said you use the iPhone 13 Pro Max. How can you do that and say you dislike big phones? Look, I'm going to try to explain something slowly. I don't like the iPhone 13 Pro Max's size. In fact, I hate the iPhone 13 Pro Max's size, but I need its battery life. I don't like it. I need it. Literally nothing else in the market that's not the iPhone 13 Pro Max or 12 Pro Max gives me the battery duration that I need. It doesn't matter how much I like the mini, I just need that battery life, and it's not the battery life that you can get here. I get these comments all of the time, and I didn't realize it was such a confusing thing that needs overcome once. That's the thing about tech. You have to know what you need, not necessarily know what you want if you want to spend your money wisely. But I love the size of the 13 mini. It perfectly fits in my hand, and it's just so convenient. Because it's so light and comfortable to use, it works in every situation. If you are taking family photos, it's the smallest, least obtrusive camera the family has probably ever seen. If you are texting or calling people, the screen is still bigger than even the iPhone 4S from back in the day. If you are watching movies or TV, the screen has plenty of contrast, and it's a very capable HDR machine. Also, if you're a runner like me and you like to listen to long video essays or podcasts during your run, this barely even feels like you are carrying anything. I hate running with this. It sucks to run with. It feels like a brick. This is just the perfect shape for a cell phone, and I'll fight on this hill all day long. But you can't get around the physics, and that small of a size can be a detriment too. And the one spot that I'm pretty meh about, that's battery life. Here's the thing. Apple did an amazing job in totally reworking the internals on the entire iPhone 13 lineup to include bigger batteries all around. The Mini, the regular, the Pro, and the Pro Max were all internally worked around to allow for bigger batteries. That engineering feat alone should be applauded. And yes, objectively, the 13 mini's battery life is substantially better than the 12 mini. This will get me through an entire day's worth of work fairly easily. But it's fairly easily, not effortlessly easy. That's where the bigger phones continue to win, and in my mind, probably the biggest reason that this phone never found mainstream appeal. My iPhone 13 Pro Max is effortless. I literally never think about the battery life. The only time I think about the battery life on this phone is when somebody starts talking about it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's been like 2 days. I can easily go 2 whole days of use out of my max, and that's without a single shred of rationing. Even though the 13 mini can get me from wake up to bedtime, it's like just barely there. And I find myself feeling the need to ration my use throughout the day to make sure it lasts. 3 years ago, this would have been class leading. But anymore, with the advances from Apple in processor efficiency and those batteries, the demand for extended lifetimes, they're just going to get further and further out. Essentially, I'm currently working 2 full-time jobs, and I'm on the go, working or running between meetings, briefings, all sorts of stuff all day long. And anything that adds friction to my life, I have to dump it. And having to stop and think about battery life is just one more thing that I don't need in my life right now, team. I get that for folks that don't have that kind of daily schedule, maybe you have the time to stop and charge your phone throughout the day. And if you do, here you go. This is the perfect phone for you. But I don't, so I just have to keep going. Battery life is the one thing that the Mini trips up on. And what's sad is it's not even that bad. It's just not good enough. Okay, that was kind of a downer, but not all is lost, especially if you are somebody that doesn't need that kind of battery life. I'm self-aware enough as a YouTuber to know that just because I need something doesn't mean everybody needs it. The next great thing about the iPhone 13 mini is that camera system. This is the ultimate parent-family camera. Moms, dads, grandparents, everybody. This is amazing. I don't know how else to put it. We've talked about the price and we've talked about the size. You add those things to this wide-angle camera, which again is the one with the bigger sensor that started its life on the 12 Pro Max, and you don't need anything else. I think I say this in every single cell phone video, but I don't even bother breaking out my big cameras for family pictures anymore. And as data shows that not too many folks have bought the Mini, data can also show that most people don't buy cameras anymore. And this is what I would consider the cutting edge of the small phone, yet high quality, powerful camera niche. Yes, it's missing ProRAW, and that sucks, but you'll get fantastic low light photos, awesome regular light photos, and it's just an all-around great thing. The best part though is because of the size, this is the most unassuming camera that you can buy. I find that the bigger the phone or the bigger the camera, the more nervous and more anxious people get about your pictures. Or it's just harder to take because the darn phone feels like a brick. Cough, cough, 13 Pro Max, cough, cough. This is so small, so comfortable, so easy to maneuver that you'll be able to take a ton of pictures and be able to document your family life in ways that we've only just started to see. Video-wise, it's pretty good too. You'll still get the cinematic mode like the rest of the higher-end phones, but it's pretty meh, so I don't know that I would use it too often. But the stabilization and actual picture quality in video is fantastic, and it's not just good outside in like natural lighting, but it's also good under studio lights, which is a rarity for small sensor cameras. Not that long ago, cell phones, action cameras, and the like, they just looked awful under studio lights. I think this goes a long way towards making that not the case, and I think you could easily use this phone as a primary YouTuber camera. You would have to figure out a smoother workflow because airdropping 4K files is kind of a big pain in the butt, but as a camera, I think it would do okay. The next thing I've continued to like about the iPhone 13 mini is the A15 processor. Not the A15 processor because, oh wow, check out my futuristic nanotech and those bar charts are always going up, but the A15 that's the 6-core processor with a 4-core GPU. If I didn't tell you that was a chip inside of a mobile system, you might have assumed that I was talking about an actual desktop processor setup there. Another hill that I'm willing to fight on all day long is that mobile processors aren't valuable for what they do today. If I want a chip that will do what I need today, I could get that from anywhere. Seriously, any processor designed recently can pretty well do what I need in a phone. The value of a mobile processor is what it will do for you tomorrow. Not literally tomorrow, not like Thursday, because today when you're seeing this video it's a Wednesday, but on a Thursday, but like figurative years from now tomorrow. I live in a bubble. I buy these phones and products every release cycle because I enjoy them and I enjoy making videos about them. But odds are, you aren't. Well, I hope you aren't buying these things every cycle. You are probably looking to buy a phone and be covered for the foreseeable future. You know, so long as it doesn't break, get lost, etc. In fact, based on a 2019 article from CNBC, because I'm not willing to peek behind a paywall on Statista, people are holding onto their phones longer and longer, year over year. It makes that much easier to do when you don't actually need to upgrade because your phone can stay relevant as long as possible. You could probably use your phone without security updates, but with more and more information being stored on these phones, that's not a great idea. We've done the math on this in the last couple of videos, but it's really important and I want to hammer it home for the third time today. The oldest really relevant iPhone today is the 6S. This is its 7th year of operating system updates. And I haven't seen anything from Apple saying that it would be cut off this year. So there is the potential for it to go 8. Processor updates power-wise are slowing down year over year, with Apple specifically focusing on efficiency as we saw from the A14 to the A15 update, and they are not focusing on raw power. These chips right now last 7 years, but soon we could easily see 8 plus, 9, 10. And I do kind of wish we could see a roadmap or general obsolescence outline of a plan from Apple. That's why the A15 inside of the iPhone 13 mini is the most value-added current chip you are going to find on the market. If the A16 focuses even more on efficiency, I would be shocked if this phone doesn't last for 10 years. Even if the battery starts to go south, with the new Fix-It-Yourself program, it should be pretty cost efficient to pop in a new battery and keep going. These phones will hold their value really well, and they will last very, very long. I love that about the Apple iPhones. Darn, I love this phone. I wish the battery was just a little bit better. But at the end of the day, so what, right? It certainly seems like this will be the last mini, or at least the last mini for right now. I don't think that means there is a problem with the phone. Was there a problem with the marketing, the niche, the general uptick in phone sizes overall? Who knows? But we do know odds are that you didn't buy one of these. I would say this is worth getting if you were looking for the most mobile phone you can get. It's powerful, cameras are great, battery life is pretty good for the size, and you can get 95% of what the top of the line can do, but for like half the price. Though if you do need an actual all-day battery life, I'd have to steer you in another direction, which probably didn't help those overall sales numbers. Great phone held back by physics. Stupid physics. But what about you? Did you buy an iPhone 13 or even an iPhone 12 mini? How's it holding up for you? Let us know in the comments below, because Team Mini needs to stick together in these trying times. And if you like this video and you want to see what I think of an older phone that can get you pretty darn far, or my video talking about why the iPhone 11 in 2020 is still a fantastic option. Whew, that was a very long run-in sentence, but you can find that video by clicking right here. Click, 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 click. Thanks for watching.